Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So on today's episode, we're going to cook some seafood, and this time around we're going to cook squid. So we're going to make sort of like a squid stir fry. So let's see the ingredients. So of course you're going to need squid. These are squid tubes. These are raw and they're cleaned out. So I already bought them cleaned out. So that's just the tubes, and I have washed them and placed them on a paper towel. You want to try and pat them down with a paper towel to remove the excess liquid because they go in pretty hot oil, so you don't want the oil spraying with the water. So those are just drying up for the recipe. And now you're also going to need these ingredients here. So you're going to need purple onion, is what I like to use for this recipe, a little raw peeled ginger, some chili peppers. You can use green or red. If you don't want spicy, you can skip that. Also garlic, so like a big clove of garlic, and there's 6 tubes of squid here. Half of a lemon and bell pepper. And because this is a really big bell pepper, I'm just gonna use about 2/3 of the bell pepper. And you can use any color that you like, but preferably try and stick with the red, yellow, orange. They're more sweet than the green ones. But you can use any that you like. Also some roasted sesame seeds, some sesame oil, some soy sauce, just regular kind, as well as just some kind of sugar, and this is just cane sugar that I like to use. So that's all the ingredients you're going to need. So let's start by working on the squid. So like I said, it's already washed and it's drying. So the next thing we want to do is you want to cut these open. So you're gonna put your knife inside and you're just gonna cut. Just to open it up, sort of like a book, is what you want to do. And now that they're open, I'm gonna place it back on the paper towel so they dry on the inside as well. So let's open each one. Okay, so now all of our squids are sort of like open. So what you want to do now is from the inside, so this was the inside of the tube. If the tube was closed like this would have been the inside. So here what you want to do is you want to sort of do cross cuts. This just helps the squid to turn into sort of rolls while it's cooking, and it keeps it more moist, so it's not as rubbery when you cook it. So you want to just go ahead and you can do this vertically and like this, or you can just go diagonally. Doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to do it diagonally. Or actually, let's just do this vertically and horizontally. So you want to take your knife, and I'm using sort of like a little paring knife. So you want to just take your knife where the sharp end is, and you want to just make cuts like this. But make sure that you're kind of cutting through, but don't cut it completely. Make sure it's still intact after you do this. So you do vertical cuts like this. And then we're going to do horizontal cuts as well. So vertical and then horizontal. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, that you don't cut it through, but you want it to look like this. They have cuts, but the whole piece is still intact. And you want to do that to each of these tubes. Okay, so after doing these cuts, the next thing you want to do is just remove your paper towel, and you're going to place this on a cutting board. And I'm just going to use a plastic cutting board for this. And we want to cut it into little strips. So let's take one of your squids, and I'm just going to cut it here to make halves, just like that. Okay, so now you want to cut into strips. So try and cut the strips not where you made those lines, but just like next to it. So you want your pieces to have sort of this design still from your lines where you have the vertical line and horizontal lines. So you want strips just like that. So looking just something like this. And you want to do that to each one of these as well. So like I said, not where the line is cut, but next to it. Okay, so our squid strips are ready now. So let's just put them to the side and let's work on the rest of the ingredients. So you want to take your bell pepper and you want to cut strips like this. And then you want to just cut sort of chunks, just like that. And the next thing you want to do is mince your garlic. So really, I'm just going to put my knife over my garlic, and I'm just going to smash it down. And then I'm going to start just cutting. And for this specific recipe, I do prefer minced than grated. And it doesn't have to be very like tiny. There could still be some beads. Now let's cut about 2/3 of this onion. So I'm thinking about even half of this onion would be enough. It's a pretty big onion. Okay, and the very last thing you need to do is just kind of small chop your ginger. Okay, everyone, so we have red onion, ginger cut up, minced like I said, and some minced garlic. Now the reason I put on gloves is because I want to cut up the chili peppers. As you know, they're really spicy, and if you don't wash your hands well enough, you know it's the worst thing when it gets into your eye. So I'm going to use gloves just to cut these so we don't have any problems later on. And now you can skip this part if you don't like spicy. If you like really spicy, you can add more. If you like a little bit of spiciness, maybe use just one, and you can remove the seeds and the membrane because that's the spiciest part, and that will make it like mild sort of. But the chili pepper also adds a nice kick to this dish. But I'm gonna use 2. We like spicy, and I'm gonna keep the seeds and everything in. So I'm just gonna cut this just rounds. And of course, whatever seeds fall out, I'm not gonna pick them all up. But some seeds are staying inside, so I'm gonna keep those. So that's all the ingredients cut up. So I'm gonna remove the gloves, I don't need them anymore. And now we're gonna go to the stove top and we're gonna start cooking this. Okay, so for the stove top part, we're just gonna turn on to high heat. Let the pan become very hot, and then we're gonna add some oil. You can use olive oil or avocado oil or any oil you use for cooking. I prefer avocado oil, that's my personal choice. So we're gonna add the ingredients and I'll show you along the way. So like I said, because this is sort of a stir fry, I'm using sort of like a wok. You don't have to, you can just use kind of a frying pan that's deep enough, but I do like to cook in sort of a wok for this recipe. Okay, so I think it's warm enough, so let's add our avocado oil. And you're gonna add quite a bit to pretty much cover the bottom of your frying pan. Once I add the ingredients, I'll probably lower my heat to like medium-high heat, just so the ingredients don't burn. So the first ingredients that you're going to add is all these things. So your red onion, your chili pepper, and your garlic, and your ginger all together. So I'm gonna lower to medium-high heat, and you wanna cook this for about 4 to 5 minutes, just till your onion becomes more clear in color, and also so that all the ingredients like the garlic, the ginger, the chili have enough time to infuse this oil. And no, we're not throwing out all these ingredients after it infuses the oil. We're actually going to keep it in the dish. So let's just cook this for about 5 minutes. But just constantly toss this, sort of like you would do with a stir fry, just so nothing burns. Once I add my next ingredients, I'll probably up the heat a little bit again. But for now, I just want these things to incorporate with the oil. So it has been about 5 minutes. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up this pan. Maybe not to the highest setting you have, but to the one below it. And we're going to add the calamari and the bell pepper. And like I said, you're going to keep stirring it. You want to cook it pretty fast in a really hot oil, and you only want to cook calamaris for about 2-3 minutes at the most, because otherwise they'll be very rubber. They cook really quickly. So I'm just going to turn to highest setting, and you're going to just add your bell pepper as well, and you're going to start mixing for 2 minutes. And guys, this is about a third time I'm making this dish. I really enjoy this dish, but this is the first time I made vertical and horizontal cuts just to see how different it would be. It is a little bit different, so I suggest maybe the first time you make this, do diagonal cuts. It seems that the strips swirl up a little bit better and just look a little bit different when you cut diagonally. Okay, so it has been 2 minutes. So your calamaris are pretty much ready. So now what we're gonna do is just add some more flavors to this beautiful dish. So you wanna go ahead and just put some roasted sesame seeds. You're going to add about 4 to 5 tablespoons of soy sauce. So let's start with 4 for now. Okay. You're going to add 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. You're going to add about half or less of lemon juice. Okay, and the very last thing you're going to do is add a teaspoon of sugar. Now you're just going to toss this all together and turn off your heat. And of course, if you want to add some salt, go ahead and add some salt. Okay, so that's it. And just remove your pan from heat and just put it on a serving plate. Okay, everyone, so our dish is now ready. So like always, let's see up close. So these are squid tubes that we stir-fried with bell peppers, onion, garlic, ginger, and some chili peppers, as well as some other ingredients that you can see at the beginning of the video. So this is a very beautiful and interesting seafood dish. It goes really well. You can eat it just as. So sometimes I eat this just with some pita bread alongside with some fresh cherry tomatoes. Or you can also eat it on top of rice. So it is very nice to put some rice on a plate and serve this on top with the sauce. So the rice also tastes like this beautiful sauce here. And just some like fresh vegetables that you like on the side. So I really hope you give this dish a try. It tastes delicious. Of course, all these flavors smell amazing. And thank you so much for watching. Like always, don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you in my next one. Thank you. Bye.